All right. So today we are going to talk about calcium and bone disease. So, calcium, your bones need calcium. Your body is like a bank, and you can deposit calcium until about age 30. Calcium can only be banked until into your body for a number of years, because that's when your bones stop growing. So things that have calcium in them would be like milk, yogurt, orange juice, cheese, pudding. Those kinds of things are great sources of calcium. So if you are not getting enough calcium, this can cause osteoporosis, which is a bone disease. And basically, as you'll see in another slide, it makes your bones really, really weak. You can see here the bone growth and loss chart. As a person grows and gets into that 30-year range, they are actively in growth. Then from 35-ish or so, they're starting to lose that bone mass that they've grown over time. And this is why you see older people who are kind of shrinking because their bones are actually getting smaller. So let's talk about osteoporosis a little bit, which is that bone disease. You can see again, you have the 35 plus to 55 plus. They get a little bit shorter, and it's not necessarily that they're getting shorter. It's just kind of that they're kind of slumping down a little bit more. Their bones just aren't quite as strong to hold that posture. As you see in the picture in the top left there. In the bottom right, you can see this is like a zoomed in microscope look at a bone or bone tissue. On the left side here, you have a normal bone, and on the right side, you can see you have a bone with osteoporosis. There's not as much substance there. There's not as much holding that together. This is why you hear of a lot of elderly people breaking bones when they fall down. Their bones just aren't quite as strong as yours are. So, a major health threat for an estimated 44 million people, which is 55% of people that are 50 years or older, is osteoporosis. 10 million people are estimated to have osteoporosis. Now, this is in the United States. 34 million people have low bone mass, placing them at risk. And 1 in 2 women and 1 in 4 men over 50 will have osteoporosis or some type of osteoporosis related fracture or bone break. So that's a huge number. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 4 men over the age of 50 will have some type of fracture or broken bone because of osteoporosis. So if you didn't bank it, or if you drink a lot of pop, which is that phosphoric acid, which keeps your body from being able to use calcium, your bones would be very much in trouble at about age 30. And that's, you can see, is when your bones kind of stop growing. So we need a maximum calcium level of about 1,300 milligrams a day. Now, if you get more of that, that's okay. Your body just doesn't store it. And you will see here on your today's assignment that it's actually not that difficult to get to that 1,300 milligrams each day if you're picking the correct foods. So factors that can be put a young person at risk for developing osteoporosis, they include being white, being female, having irregular periods, doing little or no exercise, not getting enough calcium in your diet, being below a normal weight, having a family history of osteoporosis, smoking, drinking large amounts of alcohol. Osteoporosis can be prevented. There are some risk factors that you cannot change, obviously, like your race and the fact that you are a female. but there are some that you can. Just looking at the list there, you can obviously, you are the one that chooses how much exercise you do. You are the one that chooses how much calcium you get in your diet. Um, you are the one that will choose whether you decide to smoke or not, or whether you are drinking large amounts of alcohol. Those are all choices that you can control. Um, but again, there are some that you can't. So, eating a healthy diet, like I said, getting that exercise, and not smoking or drinking large amounts of alcohol are going to be very key in that prevention of osteoporosis. So, it is best to try to meet your calcium needs um, through by having calcium-rich foods and drinks. But some teens find it difficult to fit in 4 servings of high calcium foods daily. If you don't like dairy foods or calcium fortified juice or soy milk, you will need a calcium supplement. So when you're choosing a supplement, keep the following things in mind. Most calcium supplements are between 200 and 500 milligrams of calcium. Remember, your goal for the day is 1,300. So by taking one of those pills, you're only supplementing a little bit. You're not getting your complete daily calcium intake. And your body can only absorb about 500 milligrams of calcium at a time. So by taking, let's say you're taking a pill that's 500 milligrams of calcium and you want to take 2 of them, well, you're only doing yourself a disservice because one of those is not going to be absorbed. If you're taking 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, that would be a different story. But I really think that you can find enough foods that you like that are high in calcium where you shouldn't have to take any supplements at this point in your life. So we'll continue talking about that calcium supplement. You want to look for one that has vitamin D added. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium. Avoid anything like oyster shell or natural source of calcium supplements. These may have lead or aluminum in them and are not highly recommended. So, you might ask at this point, all right, Turgeon, cut to the chase. What do I eat or drink to get my calcium? Great question. This is going to be your assignment today. So not this. It looks a little bit different than this, but you are going to have a worksheet here. One thing that you do want to take a look at is cereal is a great source of calcium. So make sure you're looking at your cereals that you're eating because they may have, like this, has a total cereal has 1,000 milligrams of calcium. So make sure that you're reading things like that. All right, let's jump to this here. Oh, here we go. So this is what your worksheet will be. You will see a list of all the foods here and their approximate milligrams of calcium. Okay, so you have milk, 1 cup is about 300 milligrams. If you had chocolate milk, same thing. Let's skip down here. Maybe you had a cup of cottage cheese, 210 milligrams. Maybe you had ice cream, regular or light, is 400 milligrams. See, there is a good purpose for ice cream, that calcium level. Vegetable, you got some breads here, you got some vegetables, a cup of soybeans cooked. Those are always everybody's favorite, 180 milligrams of calcium. And then you have some other categories down here, cheese pizza, 1 slice, 120 milligrams, a ham and cheese sandwich, mac and cheese, those kinds of things. So you're going to use this list to fill out this worksheet. Look at the calcium list on the back, estimate the calcium you ate today. So go through this and say, yep, I had 1 cup of milk, 300 milligrams. I had Swiss cheese, 1 ounce of Swiss cheese, 270 milligrams. Add that up, put that on the first line. Did you get your 1,300 milligrams? Yes or no? And then what you're going to do is you're going to make a list of things that you could eat of foods that have calcium. This is not necessarily, it says right here, this is not necessarily the food you ate, but an ideal day. For breakfast, I had this how many milligrams. For lunch or a snack, for lunch, for a snack, for dinner, after dinner. And give me a perfect day as far as your calcium levels go. All right. If you have questions, please reach out.